Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the American Rising. This isn't an actual episode. I'm just looking to make some video clips, so I'm going live. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue with China is getting worse and worse. And fortunately, we do have an administration that has a pair of testicles mounted to them. So I do believe that we have somebody that is in control that will hopefully make some progress in this department. But China. Yeah. So Reuters recently reported, and nobody's really talking about it since some solar panels that were here in the U.S. that were purchased from China that were equipped with communication devices, and it is safe to assume that those communication devices went directly straight back to the CCP, considering that the company that provided these solar panels is a communist China company. Pretty much, there is no company within China that's not controlled by the communist government. Think about that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Really let that set in. The fact that we had solar panels purchased from China with communication devices in them that had capabilities currently really unknown to us. We haven't really looked into it. We're just now starting the process, but of course, you don't hear anything on the news. This should be overwhelmingly concerning because we watched a Chinese spy balloon hover over our entire country, and a imbecile of a president, former Joe Biden, that did nothing about it. It allowed this thing to float over our entire country, and it decided once it was over water, completed its job. They shot it down somewhere off the coast of North or South Carolina. Um, Not only did this balloon fly over our entire country, uh, it went by sensitive military bases. We knew it was a spy balloon. We knew that it was on its way before it even got to the shore, well before it got to the shore of America. And it was allowed to do its business and continue to, well, spy for the Chinese Communist Party. And and again, there was nothing that was done about it. Biden had classified documents at his Penn State Biden think tank center at the University in Pennsylvania. Chinese money was funneled through there somehow. It's a very common story, and there was classified documents found there. Classified documents that he actually had no authorization to have from the time he was a vice president. And again, Chinese money in that Biden Penn Center. And again, it's very concerning. Um, the reason I bring this up is because this is a serious threat, and I don't think a lot of my fellow Americans understand how serious it is. See, China isn't going to attack us or surround us or any of that. That's never going to happen, and mainly that's not going to happen because, well, it's not just that we have a really good military. We have citizens that are armed. Our population is well armed, and so that's going to be the main reason. But if you read the book Art of War, it's a classic Chinese proverb kind of about military strategy. I highly recommend you read it because it's a lot of the simplicity is behind the complexity that is applied to your everyday life. There's a lot of good philosophy in there, but there's a something in there that the Chinese believe, and it's a philosophy called death by a thousand cuts. And unbeknownst to a lot of Americans, a lot of this Marxist crap that we see in schools, BLM when it switched over to Patrice colors in the Southern California thing that BLM turned into, that monster, Chinese money. Um, the Hollywood films that are softening our stance on China and hardlining an anti-American stance within our own movies and the DEI crap. This has Chinese communist money funding these things. This is not a conspiracy. This is not that. This is not just me trying to invoke some kind of fear mongering in you. This is a fact. And one has to do nothing but really look into it. And I would challenge anyone to get mad at me and assume that I'm lying. But look into what I say, and you're going to see that this is actually true. Everything from Hollywood films, politicians, Mitch McConnell, Republicans, Democrats alike. Um, this is a real problem. uh we are cutting ourselves thousands and thousands of times and tearing away at the moral fabric that is America, and we're doing it unbeknownst to ourselves on behalf of the Chinese government in most cases. Fentanyl crisis, most of the precursors coming from China, coming over the border. This is just one of the many, many cuts that American society is facing today. And look, I'm going to be the first to tell you, our government's not is not innocent by any means. We have done some pretty nefarious things to China uh, back in the Vietnam days. A lot of people don't know about the heroin trade and what we did there as a CIA psyops. China has a bone to pick and they have a grudge. At the end of the day, I don't care. I was born now and I'm an American and I'm going to die on this soil against any enemy, foreign or domestic, that tries to overtake us in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not saying that America is, you know, pure. Nobody is. But I love this country very much, and we are under attack, and it's dangerous now because we have politicians in power that are complacent and complicit in this behavior and interaction with China behind closed doors. Um, we really have to wake up as a country and see what's happening and educate ourselves to the influence of the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, why do you think something like TikTok exists? And let's put aside the whole spying on you and having back entrance access to your phone even if you delete the app. Let's just say that's not true. All right. Tell me why that the videos that we see in America and what our children and our youth and our adults are exposed to is these retarded, stupid trends that really do nothing to advance much a conversation about profound or logical things. It's not going to teach you much about math, science, reading, or anything like that, or history. It's twerking contests and you know how long can you hold your breath while inhaling from a litter box challenge? I mean, it's ridiculous. But if you see what the Chinese people see on TikTok and what they're exposed to, it's a lot of you know extracurricular thinking and process thinking and problem solving, and there's a reason for that, and it's a nefarious reason. You have very ill intention towards a population or society that you're feeding these type of ignorant things to, such as the TikTok exposure that American citizens are given. When you're teaching your citizens military tactics and English and other things, I think it's safe to assume that you might have some ill intention. And if you know the history, like I said, with Vietnam and the heroin trade at that time and some of the things that our CIA did to China, it's something worth looking into, but it's another story in and of itself. Ladies and gentlemen, China is here. We had a previous administration that was in bed with them. It's not a conspiracy theory. You really need to look into Hunter Biden's laptop. I'm sure anybody listening to this video probably has, but the people he was interacting with, and Chairman Yi and all these people, these were directly tied to the Chinese Communist Party. We don't know the damage that was done behind closed doors under the previous administration. The Chinese Communist Party is very methodic and patient, and they were getting to the point where they're ready to pounce in some way, shape, or form. And again, I don't think it's going to be militarily. I just hope American citizens are well equipped and prepared. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. Educate yourself, people. We are being infiltrated by a foreign government, and we have people in our government that are helping. That's why very, very important we get to the primaries and we get to these midterms and we continue to push the America First agenda. Because if we don't get Donald Trump the help he needs and this next midterm, and we don't fight every tooth and nail to keep that House and gain in the Senate and possibly get rid of these rhinos in the primary, well, this America First agenda is going to be all for nothing. It's going to be in the trash. It's going to be in the garbage, because the Democrats will take control of the House and they'll continue their antics and they'll continue to do what they do best, which is whine, complain, stop, and push an anti-American agenda. So I hope that we see the enthusiasm we did on November 5th during these primaries and these midterms, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us. It's up to we, the people. God bless you all. God bless America. And unless you play for the NFL, never take a knee to communism.